Arcino here, and let's get into it. Now, there's so much that was put in place for this Todd Phillips sequel to Joker, Folie or Deux, which just means the sequel, part two. Um, Going into the production of this film, it was stated that this film would be a sequel. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a sequel. So if you knew that this film would be a sequel going into it, you should automatically know that there was going to be some sort of blowback. Like there was going to be a musical. Well, I'm sorry. Musical is what you were going to have to deal with in such a film. A lot of people didn't understand it when it was done and put into place, but this is what the whole direction was the whole time, was to make a sequel. First, it was a standalone film, but by it grossing so much money and being so successful, Todd Phillips was forced to make this a sequel. He had to come up with the right script and right direction just to get Joaquin Phoenix to agree. And having Lady Gaga play Harley Quinn, a lot of people, the casuals, don't really read into what's happening based on all the factoids that were in place. Now, dude, you don't have to zoom in that much on me. Jeez. Okay, that's fine enough. Now, what they had in place here was something that was entirely different than what everybody could expect. The film itself, thank you, T-Rail. The film itself took on a life of its own because once they went into a realm of the psychologically and criminally insane, people didn't understand that world because they normally don't deal with it. The normal casual person don't normally deal with the criminally insane. So if you don't deal with the criminally insane, you're not going to understand a word of what's going on here. Like the criminally insane, most of them live in their heads. So what you were seeing was a musical. And when you saw that musical, you saw a whole different side of other people. That musical was something different because in people's mind, it's in song. A lot of people who fascinate, daydream, it's always a song playing, right? With like action scenes and just weird stuff that they're going into another world. So I can relate to this because when anybody who used to daydream as a kid or anything, you remember it was all weird stuff happening. It's just like you dreaming. But it's got music in it, it's got everything. So this is what they were trying to show you in this world. This was basically a musical as a sequel. Total Risk by Todd Phillips. It's gonna totally remove the fans out of the moment. Now you're probably saying, why would they take such an approach? The reason they would take such an approach is because they can take such an approach. Now, when you start looking at narratives or agendas and things of that nature, you're automatically putting yourself in Pandora's box because you're not looking at the film. You're waiting for something to happen because you're comparing it to the first movie. The formula of making a sequel is don't make the same movie twice. But if you do make the same movie twice, the fans are so dumbed down, they're going to love it. They want the same movie twice. As dumb as that sounds, they want that. And why am I glitching again? You see that? They got me glitching again. This is crazy. Hold on. Okay, here we are. Finally, stopping the glitching. I'm like this. Zip, 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 zip. So I already know this thing is screwed up times 1,000. Now, how does the world move? The world turns everything. Well, it's kind of difficult because what you're looking at is different equations, different situations. As Arthur Flex is put on trial for the murder and he's in jail, in the nut house. Well, he's actually in a broken down version of Arkham Asylum. Then they have like this program where they have women and men in there. It's a whole different section where he sees Harley Quinn's character. She's doing musicals and, singing. So the guard enrolls Arthur to get into the mix, let him get in there and sing. Why? I have no idea. They allowed all this to happen. So he had never gave him a problem since he's been there. So he's got to get ready to get fit for a trial. The lawyer's trying to prove that he's insane. And he's trying to prove that, he just don't know what's going on. Arthur doesn't know. He's conflicted on, does he even care about what's going on? Then he meets Harley Quinn, and she re-emerges and reignites the Joker, and the people loves him and all of these things. So he's all excited at the fact that the people love him so much. And they made a TV movie about him. And that TV movie basically was a horrible rendition of what really happens. Just like whenever you watch a television film like the Menendez brothers, it's just like, this is so dramatized. It was just so over the top dramatized that you just didn't even want to. It was like an escape from the realities of what happened, that you'd rather watch the mini series of the Menendez brothers. I would advise watching that way before you watch this. The mini series is way better than this because it's more gritty, more realistic. It's not all this fake dramatized stuff. So this film took such a risk. The dream sequences was great. I don't want to tell. It's a lot of stuff I want to say without. I'm like, am I spoiling it if I say this? I'm spoiling it if I say that. The visual, the way it looked, the sound, everything is on point. Todd Phillips, excellent. Sound, they're going to get awards for everything, from visual, sound, everything. They might win a musical, best songs. And it was showing the contrast of what's crazy and what's just imagination. Is this part of your mind, or are you really crazy? So you're stuck in your own head of trying to figure out, is the Joker crazy? Or is he just really smart and deceiving people? Or is he really crazy? Now, that was something that was very interesting to see at that level. I said, that's a very interesting take. Is he really crazy? Or is this part of his imagination that he's just smart and he just made this character up? Is this part of his game, his gimmick? Or is he just crazy because all the abuse he went through as a child that his mother put him through? Now, there are some parts of this film that took away from part one that I did not agree with. It kind of took away a scene from part one that I felt was essential to the character of Arthur Fleck. I think they took it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you'll see it in the trial, and you're like, what is this person doing here? When you see that happen, then you'll start to figure out what I'm talking about. But when that happened, I said, why did they do that? Now that takes away from part one. in that scene. So I was like, oh no, that don't even make sense. So now I got to go back and watch one again to see how that really plays out. But now that ruins the impact that scene had. So the ending, a lot of people clapped. There was a few people that clapped at the ending. Other people were so confused, they didn't know what to do. They were so confused at the end, they didn't know what was going on because they was like, this is it. You know, they were casuals. They thought they were there to see the first film over again. And, you know, and they were not there for a movie, an experience for a movie. So casual fans will not really get it at all. The musical numbers and all of this was fine as long as they get some payoff or what they feel is the payoff that they wanted to see. And they didn't get that. What they got was a movie, a good movie. I was like, this is a good movie. Y'all just don't know it yet because it's not the movie you expected. I expected this because I read about it. I knew it was going to be a musical. I knew which angle they were taking with this, with the criminally insane was into his mind. So when I'm watching the trailer, I can tell that some of this is dream sequence. You can pretty much tell this might be a dream sequence thing here. So you want to kind of brace yourself for what might happen. Now, the ending surprised a lot of people. But a lot of people expected to see something else. And when they didn't see that something else, I already know how Rotten Tomatoes is going to be. It's going to be the lowest rated. This movie is a travesty. Casual fans will not understand it. They just won't. So, I guess because I watch movies. I watch all kind of movies. The casual fan won't. Some young teenager watching this is not going to get this. Is it even reliable? I don't know. I'm hardly ever on that thing ever. So I don't use them to rate anything for me. But I'm never going to let a group of people tell me a group of random people that we don't know what they taste in the movie is like. And then you always see sometimes the audience score would be way up and they're here because they're stuck in their ways. Yeah, because of who you are, your age, and what you watch. This might not be for you. Like they said, a 60-year-old man shouldn't be writing about doing a review on A Wrinkle in Time. Something that's meant for like teenage girls. He's in there, this movie didn't make no sense. I'll be like, no kidding. Now, I feel that this film here was definitely a good movie. I'll give it 2.5 out of 4 stars only because of certain instances that I felt took away from the first film. Now, when they explained it out here in the sequel, it took away from the first part. That was substantial to me, and it cost them 0.5 star. This would have been a 3-star out of 4 review. But this is now a 2.5 star because of that scene alone. Yeah, so definitely go check it out for yourself. Oh, definitely go watch it. It's a good movie. It's just that you got to understand the tone of what you're going to see. Don't think you're going to see a superhero DC movie. You're not. Okay? Just get that out your mind. There's no Batman. There's none of that. Just pay attention to the film and how it plays out. Okay? And watch it as a collective film. Judge it as that. Judge it as a movie. Okay? Is there too much singing? It's a musical. There's a lot of singing in there, but it's a musical. It's a lot of dialogue too. So it's not a full-on musical, but it's basically like a musical. But mostly the singing sometimes happen in the dream sequence, and when they're in their class and they're singing to each other, Harley Quinn is singing to the Joker, and the Joker is singing to her, or he joins in. But other than that, nah. But you could say it's like a musical, so I knew what to expect when they were making the film, and they were saying this is going to be like a musical. And I said, oh, okay, I get it. I know what they're trying to do. But the casuals who don't know anything about that, they didn't read, they didn't hear anything about how the movie was going to be. That's why they're in the mindset that they're in. They don't get it. They'll be okay one day. That's why I said when I saw the movie the first time, I said people are gonna love this movie or really hate it. It's gonna be that kind of way. The people who like this movie are gonna love it. Like, my God, this was outstanding. What risk? What challenge? Todd Phillips is amazing. Other people, other fans are not gonna like it. Them casuals are they're gonna be red. So people have to get their mind right, you know. What is it that you really wanted to see? You have to make that mind up for yourself. What is it that you really wanted to see? Hmm? Some people can make their mind up, others cannot. But I know what I really wanted to see when I was watching film. I said, this is what I really wanted to see. So, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Yes, I will be reviewing Penguin on this channel as well. So, thank y'all very much for hanging out. Don't forget to subscribe, join, become a member. We appreciate all the love and support, and we're out.